All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, idealists and visionaries, I'm your boy Ideal Toner, and I'm here to make it known that we are back with another episode of Binge or Cringe. And sorry we're a little late. We're trying to get things situated. But, you know, we're here, we're live, and ready to make it happen. So, boys, what's good?
The usual.
Hey-o.
All right, all right. So, introduce my panel for today, or for tonight. We got the one, the only, he's become more of a regular than we had thought he would, D-Zone.
What's up? It's your boy D-Zone here in the zone. What's up with y'all?
And, of course, we can't forget the king of wings himself. My boy, the one and the only Nullified Saint.
Where my wings at? Today's pizza, though.
Today was pizza. Was it chicken on it?
Maybe.
Yeah, see? I called it. I
was ready to ask you if you ordered wings with the pizza, because shoot, at my house, it's pizza and wings on Friday.
No, you can't have pizza and not get wings. I mean, you can, but at the same time, if wings are available, why do you not get them? But
fair point.
Yes. So tonight we are here to discuss CODE GEASS. Don't everybody pick all at once.
Yeah.
Quite a goat of anime. I was excited for. I watched season 1. Was excited for season 2. When season 2 dropped, we'll get there when we get there. And then I haven't seen the movie yet.
Wait, so you didn't, or you did watch season 2?
I did watch season 2.
Okay.
I'm saving my opinions for when we get into talking about season 2.
Okay. Well, the movie. Is we could talk about the movie, but the movie doesn't necessarily like play out the main story. You know what I mean? The main story is season 1 and 2. So we can focus mostly on that. But for those of you who don't know, CODE GEASS is an anime, and this anime, and I'm gonna say this on behalf of Kobo, this anime is a strategic military mind game based anime.
Mm-hmm. So much.
Yeah,
and there's so many military aspects of it, so many things that broadens your mind when it comes to warfare and intellect and chess and mind games and strategy, and like it's so much that goes into it, so much, and it only gets even more complicated with the fact that there are beings in this world who have things called GEASS, and which we'll get into that. First, I want to talk about like the main character himself. Okay, big man, Lelouch V. Britannia. Okay, Lelouch V. Britannia is one of the princes of the V. Britannia, which is technically Britain in this world. He's the prince. He's one of the princes. I don't remember what number he was, or hierarchy. I don't remember the number, but
I think he was like
8th in line. But he was one that never really cared about the throne until that one fateful evening where his mother was killed, his sister was forever hurt because of what happened, or like she was traumatized and injured because of when her mother was killed, and he blamed his father for it, which his father is the king of Britannia, because he believed that his father was the one that set up his mother's death.
And that his backstory is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, man. Not only that, he became a hostage of the Japanese government or something like that. Like,
yes, but no at the same time. So with his backstory, he was in the before Japan was conquered by Britannia. He was in Japan with his mother and sister. That's where they were.
Right.
And then the invasion happened, and the Britannian soldiers came and was just like, "We don't care. You could be whoever you say you are. We don't believe you." And just went to town. They just did what they did and left, and forever scarred the young misses. And
which we found more about that incident later on throughout the seasons.
oh yeah,
But that's basically his backstory and how his hatred grew for not only his own country, but for his father. Few years later, and during that time period, he also meets one of his best friends, which is what's his name?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name. His name, I can look it up. Someone look it up real quick. But yeah, his best friend, which his best friend also is his form. Like they're what do you call it? They're antagonistic. They're antagonistic to each other without realizing it.
Oh,
and the reason why that is, fast forward a few years later, after everything that happened, you know, Japan is called section zone 11 or whatever, and everybody in Japan are no longer Japanese. They're called 11s, which I think is the dumbest thing ever.
Oh yeah, I got his name whenever you're ready.
Oh, go ahead, lay it out.
It's Suzaku Kurugi.
Yeah, Suzaku Kurugi. And this, and like I said, for fast forward, Lelouch has always been smart, but he's even smarter now and more tactical, outwitting people in chess and gambling and all this other stuff, just to further his mind for his ultimate goal of one day taking down his father in Britannia. So, you know, we meet him while he's in high school. He hasn't met his friend Suzaku in a long Suzaku, right?
Yeah.
So he hasn't seen his friend Suzaku in forever. And then one fateful day, Suzaku does return, but he returns as one of the Britannian soldiers, which I thought was stupid. Oh, you're like, bro, you should be on the opposite side. Like, but his mindset is that he can change the government from within. Yeah, that's not how that works.
Oh yeah, no.
Besides that, no, go ahead.
Especially with how Britannia is being the empire in it.
Yeah, the biggest.
There was no changing it, even though he was close to one of the king princesses of the empire.
Yeah, there was no changing how things were going. So, with that being said, the big fateful event that happens, he ends up donning there's some battle going on. He ends up in the middle of it, Lelouch, and he takes over one of these weaponized droids that all these people pilot when they in war and everything, besides just guns and, you know, tanks and all that other stuff. And he ends up commanding the rebellion. And when doing so, he ends up giving them a way out as well as a victory. And from this point on, he ends up meeting V2. Is it V2 or C2?
I think it's C2.
C2, I'm sorry. V2 is in there, but that's a different person. C2.
Yeah. They say C2. The official name is CC, but instead of saying CC,
yeah, so he meets C2. He ends up saving her from this pod that they had her in. And upon doing so, she awakens and realizes his potential and dawns on him the power of the Geass. Which the Geass is a power that anyone can be, and it can be given to anyone, or mostly anyone, but everybody's Geass is different depending on who you are as an individual. Everybody's Geass develops differently. And in Lelouch's case, his Geass develops in the form of he makes eye contact with somebody and he can rewrite something in them to make them follow his commands.
I thought it was just brainwashing.
No, that's what it is. That's exactly what I just explained.
But
I didn't know he took away like memories or something. I thought
he can do that too. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a part of his brainwashing power.
Yeah, he can he can tell people you've never seen me here, and they're like, "All right, I haven't seen you here." But it's essentially hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Except for it's a more permanent hypnosis.
Hypnosis, brainwashing, ultimate commands, whatever you want to call it. They're all basically the same, and they all coincide with what his ability actually does. And from this on, he decides with this power, he can finally take on the Battalion Army as well as his father. And he dons the name and cloak of Zero.
His Zero outfit is pretty dope, though. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah,
I loved it. Everything from the
it's classy. It's classy.
It's classy, and it has that sense of intimidation in there, which just rounds it out to be so good.
Yeah, I feel now. I don't want to. Now we gave the basis of the story, so and that's just the first 2 episodes of episode 1, of season 1, if I'm not mistaken. And from then on, does things change and get crazy and wild? Yes, they do. Yes, they motherfucking do. It just gets wild from there because, like I said, it gets more tactical, it gets harder when it comes to the mind games and everything, especially with not just his Geass in play, multiple Geasses being added into play. And you never know what someone's Geass can do until you figure it out for yourself or they tell you. You know what I mean?
Right. And there's also the multiple bits of just the drama behind each Geass.
Well, isn't the only other Geass that you know of other than his at the moment at that time is just his father's? I can't remember anybody else who had one at the time.
Actually, we didn't learn his father had a Geass until later on, I think.
Yeah.
That's true.
We didn't know it wasn't until they physically actually got into a clash that we found out his father had a Geass.
Yeah, because I honestly don't think I've seen any. I mean, I don't remember seeing anybody else.
Nah, remember the guy that was in love with C2 and tried to come take her back? He had a Geass.
Yeah, he had one. Yeah.
Because she originally gave that guy a Geass before Lelouch.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why she gave him a Geass because she thought she saw potential in him, but he could never break that mold. He became too dependent and needy on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that was partially because he fell in love with her.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, you my woman. You're all I need. If you're with me, then everything."
But here's the thing. You could say the same about Lelouch and C2. They fall in love with each other, kinda.
Kind of, but Lelouch wasn't fully in love with C2. He was more in love with, what was her name?
The one that died?
Yeah. Shirley Finette.
Which one is Shirley?
She is...
Oh, yeah.
She dies in the mall when they went on their like little date.
Yeah,
She wasn't 50 Cent.
yeah, which
She
was
was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
definitely.
Lelouch lost his shit. Tried to use his Geass to bring her back.
Yeah, so that, like, you know, that's it's so much, and there's so much trauma in this show, but it all comes down to a certain point of how things unfold. You know what I mean? Like, and let's be real. In this series, Lelouch is a certified genius. He's one of the most smartest anime characters to ever be created.
Oh yeah, like his tact and his
What'd you say? No,
stratagems that he
Dr. Stone.
deploys.
Dr. Stone is smart too. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Lelouch is the smartest. I'm saying he's one of the smartest.
Oh, okay.
One of the smartest. Yeah. As a technical genius, Lelouch, I believe, has just about anyone else beat.
Yeah, no, his tactics are crazy, and for the most part they work. Don't get me wrong. There are times where he stresses out, and you can see that humanity in him about like, okay, this is going wrong. I don't know what to do. Blah blah blah. But he eventually figures it out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you can figure, especially in stressful situations, the fact that you can do that in stressful situations just shows how good his tactical admin is.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, that didn't go well. We have to flip the script real quick. How can we do that? I got this piece of this piece still, because he thought of everything like chess game.
Exactly.
Which, to his credit, was a genius play for him, because that's how he thought initially anyhow. That was his, like, top game, was chess.
And don't get me wrong, there are times where like he gets blindsided and he falls short, but that's just also showing like his humanity, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like he's not perfect.
Oh yeah.
But I will say this: Lelouch and Zero get all the hotties.
I mean, the second in command of Rebellion was so in love with Lelouch, just to be like, well, yeah, just to be like, well, I'm chopped liver. He doesn't love me. He loves this other chick that he goes to school with.
Here's the thing: I would have went for the redhead. I'm just saying.
I mean, I would too. Let's speak facts.
I'm just saying she was hot. She was head over heels for him. She was hot. Like
she would do quite literally anything for the man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I'm going not to say that Shirley wasn't a ride or die, but she wasn't a ride or die like the other girl at all.
Oh, definitely not. Like she started pulling away from Lelouch, the more fanatical he became.
Mm-hmm. So, but as the story unfolds, you start peeling back more of the layers of like what actually happened in the past, as well as what the main objective of the entire story is. You know what I mean? There's so much that goes into this. You start learning the truth about his mother and his father. You start learning about the multiple Geass users. How C2 she's not just one that gives Geass, but she was the leader of the Geass cult or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, this was such an easy anime to follow, but also such a meaty anime. Like, there was not a time where you looked at the show and you were like, there's nothing else going behind. There was always something.
Exactly.
Even if you couldn't see it yet, it will give you a dot to connect within, like, 5 seconds.
And not only that, like, think about it. What was I about to say? Oh, like, and then when you dive deeper into it, like, the fact that Lelouch and his best friend are best friends, but then they're at odds with each other, especially when they find out that each other Lelouch already knew, but especially when Kudarugi finds out that Lelouch is Zero and that they're on opposite sides. Oh, what's up, Steve? What's up, bro?
He lost it.
Yeah, like, bro, and then, like, here's the thing. Here's my thing. That was so well written. You have the guy who's come to hate his country because of what happened in his past, and he decides to go against his country. Then you have his best friend who takes the opposite role, even though he had something similar happen to him with his father being killed. He becomes a lapdog for the Britannian army because he believes he can change the Britannian army from the inside and make something better for his people. Bro, like the crosshairs are like the situation that happens there because of that is crazy, and they're constantly at it. And once they know, especially once Kudarugi knows about who Lelouch is and him being Zero and him doing what he's doing, and then they're constantly at odds. Constantly.
They're constantly at odds. And what's crazy is, even though they're constantly at odds, they're still like the best of friends.
Mm-hmm. It's like Superman and Batman and what's that series? When Superman starts killing people.
Injustice.
Sheesh.
It's Injustice.
Injustice, yeah, there we go. Injustice.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
Injustice kicked off after the Joker was like, "Hey, I want to play the game on easy mode for once," and goes and attacks Superman's killing Lois.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your mic. You gotta fix your mic, Zone.
What's going on?
Yeah, you sound a little.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
Oh no! Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, no. Joker fucks up Superman's town. Superman gets pissed off. First person he kills, the Joker.
Well, that's because he also killed Lois while she was pregnant. So
yes,
Joker was wilding for that.
Joker was a complete shithole for that.
Yeah, that wasn't even like that. He was just a monster for doing that shit.
That was completely uncalled for.
Mm-hmm. But regardless, that's basically the same situation we found ourselves in with Lelouch and Suzaku. Literally, basically same situation.
Well, in reality, it got a little more intense once, what's her name? Shirley Temple?
The redhead?
Shirley Temple died? Yeah.
Shirley, yeah.
Oh, sure.
She died. That man he wasn't holding nothing back at that point. He wanted him dead.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care if it was Lelouch or just the Zero.
I mean, yeah, because Lelouch and Suzaku both loved Shirley. It's just Lelouch happened to get to her first.
And then Suzaku started falling in love with Lelouch's sister, right? What was her name?
Yeah, the older sister.
Mm-hmm.
The older sister, yeah. Give me a second. I have the names still pulled up because I know we're gonna need it. Euphemia Lee Britannia.
Yeah, Yuffie. That's right. Yuffie. He became her personal guard. Suzaku did, yeah. And they had a little arc and whatever. But then Lelouch's And then here's the thing. Yuffie was the only one before Suzaku to figure out who Lelouch was as Zero. And she didn't tell nobody. She wanted to meet him privately, which they did. And she started to convince him about, working together to make peace and blah, blah, blah. And he was going for it. But at that moment, things got crazy and turned for the worse. His Gias activated on his own, and he said something that rewrote her mind and brainwashed her to act different, and he didn't mean to do it. And at that point, he had to take responsibility for what he did, even though it wasn't ill-intentional, and he had to kill Yuffie. Because she started going around murking everybody.
Oh, yeah. And after Yuffie died is when Suzaku was like, okay, Lelouch, kid gloves are off now. I'm going to fucking murder you.
He never got that chance though. He never got that chance. And this all after all of this craziness unfolded and everything, Lelouch and Suzaku constantly being at odds, and Lelouch is constantly on the run. He doesn't even go to school for a time. Then something happens where all that like Lelouch's whole memory was erased and things were reset. In him personally, if I'm not mistaken. And he ends up and in season 2, we're just like back at school, like nothing fucking happened. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Motherfucker has a new little brother, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I'm like, where's the sister? Like I was because his sister's been captured and she's disappeared, and I was like, what is going on? I was confused.
Season 2 threw me through a loop, and it's where I started actually trailing off.
Yeah, but it starts it does start making sense if you just keep at it. Then you realize he's been brainwashed. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or his memory is
definitely
fuzzy and he's going. So, but then like that he remembers. Not too long after he remembers everything, but he decides to keep playing the fool so that people don't realize that he remembers, because he's being watched not only by Suzaku but a bunch of people from Britannia who know that he is Zero now.
Oh yeah, because one of the things to get to his father from season 1, because there was a time where Lelouch and Suzaku sat down and they crafted up a plan to have Lelouch fake captured. That was to get to his father to sit there and straighten everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's after him and his father get together in that hyperspace or pocket dimension or whatever. That was a crazy moment. Is what led into season 2, where they kind of used both of their Giasses on each other, but we didn't get to see who won until during season 2, technically.
Right. And things just got crazy from there. Okay. But yeah, so with all that being said, it just gets more wild and wild. And then they come up with, and then at a certain point, Lelouch and Suzaku finally come to terms with what each other's trying to do, and they decide to cooperate, and they become unstoppable.
Oh yeah,
they become unstoppable. Because Lelouch ends up killing his father, and here's the thing: not necessarily killing him. He just he dies in the other world, or the other realm, the Z's world, where at the same time, that's where all the truth comes out. Where he finds out that his mother and his father have been plotting all of this. That's the crazy part.
Oh yeah.
So bewildered by that, he still fights against them, struggles to fight against them, and he does. Traps them and leaves them to rot in Z's world. And then he meets Kudarugi. They hash out a new plan together after coming to terms with each other, and it's called the Z Requiem, the Zero Requiem, right? Which the Zero Requiem is literally the plan to take over Britannia and all its military assets and become the new king, which he did, because technically no one could say that he didn't defeat his father, which he did. And when he shows up claiming to be the new king, everybody was ready to dethrone him, all his siblings and everything. And Suzaku shows up and beats everybody to a pulp.
Oh yeah, because at that point, Lelouch was like, "Hey, Suzaku's my right hand man here. He gotta take care of y'all. I don't need to lift a finger no more."
Mm-hmm. Homeboy has the best of tools, and that man, y'all just gave it to him, and he was about to just put the whooping down.
But everybody was shocked by everything, his rule and everything. And then then as he's finally taken over the rest of the world completely in order to reunite them all under Britannian rule, there's someone that comes up in his way. His sister pops up out of nowhere. No, we haven't seen her in episodes. We think she dead. She pops up out of nowhere and goes against him. So the siblings end up fighting each other in a battle of war, modern warfare or whatever. Lelouch ultimately wins. He becomes king of the entire world with Britannian rule. And he celebrates by having a big parade and putting up all his former teammates and enemies strung up. You know what I mean? Like, has his sister chained up in front of him, in front of his throne that's moving on a platform. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anybody want to chime in at this point?
That part was crazy because I didn't think he would have done that to his sister, because if you look back on the entirety of the show, he did nothing but dote on her.
Exactly.
He started the rebellion not only because he was mad at his father, but it was because of her. He was like, this is stupid. She shouldn't be like this. It's his fault. I'm going to kick his rickety old ass so I can fix this.
Exactly. But he doesn't just stop there. The next thing that happened, I'm be honest with you, when I first watched this anime, it blew my mind. I was not expecting this. And I don't think anybody was expecting this ending.
Nope.
Lelouch is in the parade. Like I said, I set the picture already. Everybody's either acting like they're happy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a really happy or pretty picture of what's happening. And it's not a bad picture either. It's not like anybody. But what happens next will shock you. And spoilers. If you don't want to know how it ends, spoiler alert.
In reality, you could just
spoiler alert.
You don't have to say the name. You could just say who the character was that did the situation.
No, I mean the entire ending. How it ends. If you don't, you know what I mean? Spoiler alert.
Okay, go ahead.
Spoiler alert. Leave the channel now if you don't want to know how this ends. I will say this though. It is worth the watch. You know what? Binge or cringe right now, boys.
Really?
Is it binge or a cringe? It's binge.
I'm gonna go watch it tonight because y'all reminded me of it. I want to go see it.
Binge
it's a
for
hot
me.
binge. So what that means? Oh, no, go ahead, Squirt. Go ahead. I mean,
because as I said, the entirety of it is extremely meaty. Like, if you like meaty shows, go watch this like yesterday.
Facts. But like I said, you've been warned. Spoiler alert. What happens next is in the parade, Zero appears out of nowhere, which we all know Zero is Lelouch. So who's this other Zero? Nobody knows. Zero just appears out of nowhere. Okay. Zero charges the parade platforms and the floats, hops up to where Lelouch is at, and plunges a sword right through his chest. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that part was crazy though.
That's it. Hold on. He dies in front of He dies in front of the entire crowd, and he slowly loses his breath. And right next to his sister, which she starts crying, and everybody starts crying who knows him and starts realizing he did all of this to unite the kingdoms in order for everybody to be completely free, and sacrificed himself as the one hated person. That way he could be the one tyrant that everybody hates and unite. Which at that point, his sister, like, she cries, bro. Cries.
Oh yeah, that was pretty messed up. But I mean,
because she realizes. Yeah, go ahead, Squirtle. I mean, Diesel. Shit.
When anime characters just straight up cry as hard as she does, it kind of hurts a little bit on the inside because it the voice actors, especially hers, does such a good job of putting the pain into the cry. Like they just watch freaking their puppy get slammed by a baseball bat type deal. Cry, like goddamn. It hurts to hear it. And it makes you want to cry too.
So it's just this show, this anime is impactful for multiple reasons. And it is definitely a binge. It is a must watch. Go watch it. If you have never heard of it or never seen it, or you're like, I don't know, it's worth it, man. And there's more than just, and there's action in it too. There's action because of the warfare. So it's entertaining in multiple aspects. I would go watch it. I know I'll watch it and had a good time watching it.
I had a great time in season 1. Season 2 took me a bit, but I still enjoyed it to its fullest. I'm going to have to still go check out the movie at some point.
Yeah. Now regarding the movie hits in a different way, bro. Because it's after what happens in the main series.
Oh, so it's after Lelouch. That's going to be interesting tell.
Okay, my bad. Got a phone call.
Well, we getting ready to wrap up. So.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what happened?
I said we're getting ready to wrap up though. Anybody got any closing statements?
I do not. Not right now, at least.
What'd you say, no?
I'm about to go. Definitely a binge. I'm about to go watch it myself.
Okay.
Even though I watched it before, I think it's about time to just go through rerun.
Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes you got to do that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I already told Noel what my plans were for tonight.
What's that?
Shangri-La.
Shangri-La. I'm gonna start Shangri-La again because I forgot where I was again.
Oh wow. Yeah, Shangri-La's pretty good.
Oh, it is.
Excuse me. But yeah, definitely a binge. I don't know what we're going to do next week. I will be in touch with you guys of what we're going to do, but I will figure that out. If not tonight, tomorrow. But
oh, right.
Yeah, man, it's just such a good anime. Go watch it. It needs to be watched if you haven't watched it. Excuse me.
I never thought I would have watched it because of the art style, but man,
the art style I thought was a pretty good art style. Now, some of the characters were just extremely tall and lanky, and I'm like, come on.
It's just the way they were drawn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But then again, that was kind of the theme of that time.
Drawing them tall and lanky, and they don't look like they're supposed to be high school students, but look nothing like it. But yeah, guys, if you haven't watched it or thought about watching, or you're not sure if you're watching it because you thought about it but wasn't sure, go watch it. Like I said, I keep saying that as long as I can. But yeah, it's worth it. But yeah, that's really it. That's all I have. What do you guys got? Any closing statements?
Besides just go watch it? No, not really.
All right, yeah, because I feel like we covered this pretty thoroughly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we're this is a full consensus here. Go watch it. You need to watch it. But as we're getting out of here, I just want to say we'll be back again next week. Not sure what we'll be doing next week yet, but I will post about it. And hopefully, we get more people because some people has things to do or some people weren't feeling well. I know Cobalt wasn't feeling well, which is why he wasn't here tonight. He's not feeling too hot. So hopefully he feels better by next week. But you know,
He's been dying for days.
we'll be back next Tuesday at 8. And until then, guys, as always, I'm your boy Ideal Tone, and I just made all of that known. Later.